Hey Jets, KD here. I don't know about you, but video games are my go-to way of de-stressing after a long day. Problem is, video games these days can be pretty demanding in the type of hardware required to run some programs, and this doesn't just apply to games either. But if you want anything with high specifications, buying a pre-built PC just isn't worth it these days. Pre-built models cost double, triple, even quadruple of their part selling prices, especially in Korea. So here's the solution. Just buy the parts and build the thing yourself. Building PCs is the new trend, and manufacturers are catching on. Day by day, parts are being made so that they can be replaced and put together much more easily than before. Let me show you how to do it. A PC will optimally consist of a tower, the GPU, the CPU, the motherboard, an SSD, and some RAM. Now, you'll want to make sure that all of your parts are compatible so that they fit in the case. All of these specifications are listed in the parts descriptions, so make sure that everything matches and that all of the software and the drivers for each part will also line up with each other. An easy way to check compatibility is to use websites like pcpartpicker.com that check these things automatically. It's generally recommended that you start with the motherboard and the CPU. Find the CPU socket, which might be covered with a plastic cap. Press down on the metal lever and pull it to the side. Remove the cap and put in the socket and push the metal lever back in. Now, if you have an M.2 SSD stick, which are generally the fastest models today that you want to install, then you need to find the small horizontal cover that's on the motherboard. Sometimes there are going to be multiple M.2 slots, and the manual will indicate which slot is best for when you're only installing one. Simply unscrew the cover, slide the stick into the slot at an angle, put the cover back on, and screw it in. Next, you'll want to install your CPU cooling fan if you have one. Just like the M.2, this might not be something that you have or need, and that's completely fine. If you do have one though, then this goes right on top of the CPU. You'll generally also have a pair of supporting bridges that help hold up the cooling fan that will also need to be screwed in together. Now, you want to install your RAM sticks. A motherboard will usually have up to 4 slots for RAM, and all you have to do is open the lever on each slot and slide the stick in until you hear a click and the lever snaps shut. If you have less sticks than the maximum number of slots, the motherboard will have a specific configuration for where you insert each stick that you'll want to follow. Now, slide in the power supply into the side slot on the bottom of your case. Make sure that it's secure and that no cables are tangled or stuck, because the cables sticking out of your power supply will directly connect to all of your other parts. Now, mount the motherboard onto the case. There will be a slot on the case that has room for the USB, HDMI, and other slots on the side of the motherboard, and they should all fit perfectly. Now, onto your graphics card. Similar to the RAM sticks, there will also be a specific slot for the GPU on your motherboard. Depending on the case you have, you might need to remove these small metal covers on the back. Once it's in the slot, your GPU should be secured with a few screws or a support if you have one. Now, make sure to connect all of your power cables stemming from the power supply to your motherboard and your GPU. Your manuals will again indicate where each power cable should go, so make sure to read it carefully. Now, assuming all the steps have been safely completed, you should be done with building your PC. The only thing left is to hook it up and set up your operating system, which can be done by downloading the ISO file for an operating system installer onto a formatted thumb drive and inserting it into your PC. If you download Windows, which is often the most commonly installed operating system, then all of the instructions will be on the website for each specific operating system version. But really, whether it be installing your favorite video game right away or decorating your PC tower afterward, this is just the start.